111, the new home record. It's raining, but the good news is, while the umbrellas are up, we are about half an hour away from the start of this game. Game 2 of a 3-game set. Early day game action tomorrow, but right now it's Mike Hampton against Matt Morris. Game 2 of the series. I'm Joe Buck, and that is Al Raboski. And because it's raining, we really have no time constraints whatsoever. So therefore, we're just going to sit here and look, gaze into this camera, and talk and draw it out a little bit. Can you fill a half hour?
No, not anymore.
Okay. The Cardinals have been doing a little more small ball. I mean, we talked about it last night. We talked about it in our tease. And I don't know that it represents a monumental shift in the thinking of Tony La Russa, but as you go back over the course of the season in a month plus of games, we've seen his willingness to move guys over and with a guy at third, get him in by dropping down a bunt.
Well, Joe, it's just one more intriguing aspect of the offense. Still got the home run hitters, but look at Scott Rowland. He drops down the first sacrifice of his major league career. We've already seen Luna. He's one of 3 squeeze plays. So Taguchi has done that. He's among the league leaders in sacrifice bunts. There's a squeeze play, scoring Porter. And then Mike Matheny, who picked up 2 RBIs without that base hit last night, gets a 3rd squeeze play. You know, this ball club still can hit the home runs. Renteria did that last night. We're tied with Chicago for the most home runs in the National League. But it's nice to move runners along, steal bases here and there, have guys advanced on outs, and even come home on, you know, ground balls or sacrifice flies.
And really, when you think about this Cardinal offense, obviously, as you say, the talent's there. They're going to hit home runs, but the home runs aren't always going to be there. And you're going to run into pitching like against a Clemens or an Andy Pettit or somebody from the Chicago staff where you've got to manufacture runs, and the ability to do both and then find something in between has really been the Cardinals' problem. They've either blown teams out or it's been trying to squeak out a victory. That kind of in-between land has been hard to come by.
It really is, and of course we talk about sometimes when a team is so dependent on the home run ball, they really look like they're dead and lethargic. So just by stealing bases, moving guys along, it looks like you have a little life, and eventually you're going to have those mistake pitches you can do some damage with.
But the beauty of all that is, you combine that with very good pitching, now you got something, and the Cardinals hope that continues here tonight. It is raining in downtown St. Louis, but the rain is about to go away, and we're about to watch Matt Morris take on Mike Hampton and the Atlanta Braves on the other side of the break. Dan McLaughlin with more before this game.
We had over 35,000 in attendance last night. Tonight for game number 2, another big crowd expected. It's the Cards. It's the Atlanta Braves on your home of Cardinals baseball, Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to Busch Stadium. Joe Buck and Al Raboski will have the call of game number 2 tonight here on your home of the Cardinals, Fox Sports Net. Matt Morris has really struggled against the Atlanta Braves in his career. As a matter of fact, he has never won a game against the Atlanta Braves. He is 0-5. A key in shutting them down, you've got to get to Andruw Jones. This is part of our 4th key matchup, and this is what Jones has done against Matt Morris in his career. The center fielder is 4 for 9 with 1 home run against the Cardinals, fairly quiet in his very good career so far. .234 average, only 5 home runs. There's a look at your 4th key matchup. Now, on the flip side, Mike Hampton has really struggled for the Atlanta Braves. To start this season, ERA is close to 8. He is still looking for his first victory. First innings are the key with him. He's allowed 5 first-inning home runs, and they've gone 11 for 28 in the first inning against Mike Hampton. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have our starting lineups and the play-by-play. Big crowd expected tonight. We're at Busch Stadium. Cards behind Edgar Renteria. He's in the lineup tonight. Home run number 3 last night. Dancing his way in the lineup this evening. Cardinals rolled to a 5-1 win last night. We find out what's in store for game 2 next on.
It's Busch Stadium, St. Louis, Missouri, and our thanks to Dan McLaughlin. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Dan, for putting that piece together so that Al and I could just kick back, relax, and watch Matt Morris get ready in the bullpen. And now Matt and his friends, all dressed in white, go jogging out to take their positions with a very different-looking lineup tonight for the Cardinals taking on the Atlanta Braves.
I was doing a lot of research as you see the numbers for Matt Morris. 1 complete game. That was in Arizona. 3-3 record. He's disappointed in that. Giving up a way too many home runs. He leads the National League in that department. But other than that, only a .214 opponent's batting average.
That's half of our Advanced Auto Parts pitching matchup. The other half, we'll just save that for later. You can, I've said it a couple times, who's starting for the Atlanta Braves, but just to honor one of our sponsors, Advance Auto Parts, we'll just save that and keep that as a little mystery. But we will show you the lineup, and I guess that'll kind of ruin the whole surprise. The Southwest Airlines starting lineup for Bobby Cox has the same look as it had last night. And this is an Atlanta team that, because of injury, has had a difficult time keeping the same starting 8, so to speak, outside of the pitcher, and lining them up in the same spot. I didn't even read it. Is that it? Is that all the tape we had on that thing? DeRosa, Giles, Drew, Chipper Jones, Estrada, Andrew Jones, LaRoche, Garcia, and Hampton. Same look. There he is, Mike Hampton. He'll start tonight. And right now, I still think he is one of the top 3 hitting pitchers in the National League.
Very good hitting pitcher.
Very good hitting pitcher. But how's he pitching? That's the main question. He's 0-3 with an ERA of over 7.5. We go around the horn. It's brought to you by Auto Tire. Hector Luna starts at second base tonight. Womack with the lefty on the mound will sit this one out. It leads to the start. Pujols, Roland, Renteria. Taguchi's in left. Edmonds is in center. Reggie Sanders is not only in right but batting second. And Mike Matheny will hope to guide Matt Morris along and help Matt to his 4th win of the season.
Well, Joe, last night Woody Williams did an outstanding job of getting a scoreless frame, and hopefully Matt can do the same thing. That first inning bugaboos for the Cardinal starters has been very troublesome, but I guess Mike Hampton knows all about that. He has a huge ERA in the first inning.
There are the numbers for Woody last night, and overall the Cardinal starters have thrown a combined 23 innings the last 3 games. Williams, Carpenter, and Marquis. And over those 23 innings, the starters have an ERA of 1.96. The bullpen has been even better over the last week and a half, and so the pitching has really come together. The hitting is still trying to find itself. As pitch 1 is outside, and we're underway, let's say, 27 minutes after the scheduled starting time, but still about a half hour in front of our usual starting time. That's a good start for Matt into right field, and Reggie Sanders has waited a long time for out number 1 here in the first.
Well, you said Matt Morris could be facing a little different lineup because the Braves have had their projected 1 through 5 hitters in the lineup for only 4 games this season, the first 4 games of the year. So Dave Duncan looking on. He's starting to get his troops going the way that he would like, starting to be able to tell them a scouting report and have them follow suit.
Really a nice night tonight. 72 degrees. The rain has stopped. The sun broke through a while ago, and Marcus Giles swung right through that first pitch from Matt Morris. And Oliver Stone and all the conspiracy theorists, rest easy. What a good pick. Pujols with a nifty play. 2 out. The radar gun is on here at Busch Stadium with Matt Morris on the mound. Even though there had been speculation that because Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan said they didn't like that for pitchers to have to, or to be tempted to look up to see how hard they're throwing, it is on tonight with Morris on the hill.
Very nifty play by Albert Pujols. That short hop, stab, and the rest is easy, but that is more of an indication how well he can play first base.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? If you're J.D. Drew and you came up through the Cardinal organization and you come back and nobody really cares, that would bother me more than getting booed. I mean, there's just zero reaction to J.D. Drew digging in again tonight. 2-0 the count from Matt Morris. And that's surprising to me. With 2 out, that's low and inside. Ball 3 with Chipper Jones on deck.
I think J.D. elicited a lot of reaction, pro and con. But everybody knows that when he's healthy, he's one of the best players.
There's a strike. When I started in on that little line,
where
you looked
going.
at me like,
where's he going?
You've never seen me before in your life. With 2 out and nobody on, a 3-1 to J.D. A breaking ball falls in for strike 2.
As I was doing research, it just made me wonder where you were the last few minutes.
Well, one can only guess. Here's a 3-2. Drew is gone on another curveball from Morris, and a great start. We got started about a half hour late, but it was well worth the wait for Matt after a half no score. Advance Auto Parts pitching matchup, Mike Hampton, who the Cardinals were interested in as a free agent a few years ago, and is being paid by a couple of different organizations to pitch for the Atlanta Braves. That enormous salary that he signed with the Colorado Rockies. And he was in an off-season trade, moved to Florida and then right to Atlanta. Here he is taking on the Cardinals, and he is a sub-500 pitcher in 13 career games here at Busch Stadium, 4-5 against the Cards. Our Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Hector Luna is ready to go. Reggie Sanders, Albert Pujols, Scott Rowland, Edgar Renteria, Jim Edmonds way down. Taguchi Matheny and Matt Morris is pitching and batting ninth.
And first inning problems are done in Hampton.
And if we're aware of it, sure the Cardinals are aware of it, and most importantly, Mike Hampton is aware of it, as the first pitch is a strike to Hector Luna. Hitting 192 in his rookie season. That's off the end of the bat, strike two. 0-3, 7.67 ERA. And simply put, if the Atlanta Braves are going to challenge the Phillies and the Marlins this year in the National League East, Mike Hampton has got to be a big part of the starting rotation for this team. The 0-2. On the inside corner, and a good start for Hampton, one out. Here are the numbers that you talk about with first inning troubles for both Morris and Mike Hampton. 6 starts for Hampton, 5 home runs allowed, 11 runs overall.
And Joe, all 5 home runs in the first inning, and that's it for him. He hasn't allowed a home run beyond the first inning. Say his sinker has been elevated. It's not moving as much. It's not being thrown as hard. But we've seen him go out there with pretty good intensity against the Cardinals.
Little sick last night, so a late scratch was Reggie Sanders. He did not appear in the action last night. Marlon Anderson did. And after suffering through an 0 for 22 streak, a couple of hits on Friday at Montreal broke up that string. There's Marlon Anderson, who tonight will come off the bench if needed. 2-0, and that somehow missed Reggie's legs. 72 degrees. Downtown St. Louis, and a pink hat from Old Navy. And the juice cup. A sippy cup. Is it milk? At least Mom and Dad are taking care of the calcium for that kid. 2 balls and a strike.
If it's milk.
Looks like milk. I'm no genius as far as spotting what's in a sippy cup, but I'm guessing that was milk. 2 balls and a strike. Pujols on deck. Reggie takes a strike, 2-2.
One thing the Atlanta Braves that Leo Mazzoni stresses is the ability to throw the ball down and away. Come inside for effect, but this pitch they want, he didn't want down and away, it's inside.
Sanders had a pretty good rip, count 2-2.
Didn't get it far enough in.
You remember when we first saw Mike Hampton with the Houston Astros at a very young age in his early 20s, and he was phenomenal.
He's 31 years of age now. 2-time All-State football player, and takes that mentality to the mound.
Sanders pops it up. And in to get it is Andrew Jones. I think Andrew initially was willing to let Giles hang with that from second base, but it was hit so high in the air, Giles said, Andrew, it's all yours, 2 out. And here comes Albert. Pujols digs in, hitting .268. Last night was 0 for 4, primarily against Jared Wright. 1 year ago today, those numbers, the production the same, even 1 more home run, the average is not.
At his 3rd 7-game hitting streak stopped last night. He's hit in all but 5 games, and he's the only Cardinal to start every game.
Here's a 1-0. We keep talking about Albert putting more pressure on himself because of the big contract. Do we expect too much? If we've taken for granted what he's done the first 3 years, and is it unrealistic to think that he's going to hit 360 every time he starts a season?
We're compensating him for that expectation.
The 1-1, Pujols pops it out of play. That 2. Still, you look at the production numbers. Walt and Bruce Mano are watching this one from Walt's luxurious suite down to our right, sitting in the lap of luxury with binoculars and telephones and pretzels. Obviously not listening to the game because he's not reacting whatsoever. But the production is virtually identical to what it was a year ago. The average was the same, though, with all the guys that have been on in front of him. Production would be that much better. That's low at 2-2.
And I think Albert's having a good attitude about it. You know, he's really trying not to put too much pressure on himself. It's just human nature that you do ask yourself to do more. He knows the numbers will be there in the end.
Try to come inside, and it misses. 3-2 with Rolen on deck.
No doubt, he's off to one of the most remarkable starts of any career.
The numbers in his 4th season already 123 home runs and a career average of 329. 3-2. Left side and a high hop for DeRosa. That'll do it for the Cards. They go in order. Matt Morris back to the hill on a damp night in downtown St. Louis. No score.
You a scout?
I was a Cub Scout. I never took the next step and became a Boy Scout or an Eagle Scout.
You probably became a Wolf and stopped there, right?
That's right. That's up and away for ball 1. I thought they were talking actually about Major League Scouts. But
No.
it's Boy Scouts,
Scouting.
Cub Scouts. Yeah, that kind of. Chipper Jones took a ball. Now the guy hitting .244 takes another 2-0. Touched on the home runs. Matt Morris has already allowed 11 home runs. And that's the most. That's fouled out of play. 2-1.
Matt at times has not had the good 12-6 curveball. Other times he's left his fastball up and over the middle of the plate, but I think as many times he's been hurt by his new pitch, the changeup, and leaving it up in the zone. It's amazing. He was 122 games. 2-pitch pitcher was okay.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Chipper with Johnny Estrada and Andrew Jones to follow. They moved Estrada in the lineup. That's just outside. A leadoff walk. So the first base runner of the night is Chipper Jones. And Johnny Estrada, who couldn't be off to a better start. What he's done, particularly with runners in scoring position, that's not the case right now, hitting .550. 319 overall average, and last night had a hit in 4 trips. Digs in.
Not only that average, but, and it's not the case here with a runner at first and no one out, but he's been very good with 2 outs. 16 2-out RBIs.
Slapping at it, strike 1. And a check with the home plate umpire, Jerry Meals, to see if that was indeed a strike.
Switch hitter, catches and throws very well, and off to a great offensive start. Just not going to have the power that Lopez has.
Up the middle, and another hit for Estrada. Same spot where his base hit went last night in his first at bat. The Braves have a great opportunity here. A walk, a single, and Andrew Jones coming up, nobody out.
Just a nice, sweet little stroke. Didn't try to muscle it. See the infielders telling each other what's coming. They're on their toes, but ball well placed between them and up the middle.
And hit sharply. And with 2 on, here's Andrew Jones, who is hitting .250. Cardinals winners last night. So were the Astros in Houston. The Dodgers, the 2 teams in the National League with the highest win total. The Dodgers with the best record, 21-10. The Astros 21-11.
Kerry Wood removed after 2 innings last night as precaution.
That's got to concern them a little bit with
I would think so.
strain in his tricep. The 1-0 into right field, right at Reggie, and the runners have to hold at first and second. There's a big out. 1 away.
And you don't mind giving up a hard hit out.
Maybe only 72 degrees, but you can tell it's humid. And here is Adam LaRoche. Off to a 2:38 start.
Perspiration.
The beard can't help.
Oh, that keeps you cool. It's a cool look.
2 on, 1 out. LaRoche takes a curveball inside. A guy like LaRoche getting a look at Matt Morris for the first time. You would think advantage Morris. 1-0. Ball and a strike.
That's the way I always consider it, because as a pitcher, you know what you're going to throw. And you still should pitch your strength even if it matches up with a hitter's strength. Off-speed pitch and way out in front. Set up away.
And Matt Morris gets a borderline pitch called for strike 2.
And around the plate for the strike.
After LaRoche, it's Garcia, Jesse Garcia, the number 8 hitter. A walk and a hit started this inning. Then Andrew Jones line to right, 1 out. LaRoche rips it foul. And that hit that security person down the right side. So watch out down there. Whoops.
Don't rub it.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out. That's Albert taking the out at first, and now the runners at second and third, 2 out. And here's a spot where, with a guy like Hampton waiting on deck, I would imagine the Cards will go right after Jesse Garcia.
Garcia, you know, you don't know much about him, but he's shown that he's swinging the bat a little bit. Got a 4-game hitting streak, 385 during that time. The 4-game hitting streak matches his career high. And he's now hit an 8 of 9, 379. So sometimes people may just relax with him.
You saw Tony La Russa make that little gesture out to Matheny right before Garcia got to the plate. And you wonder if that's the sign, Mike, if you're thinking about it, we're going right after this guy. Make him swing the bat. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Couple breaking balls.
The 1-1. Into right, should end the inning. It started good for Atlanta, but it didn't end well. They got their first 2 on, and Morris gets out of trouble. We go to the bottom of the second in St. Louis. No score. Matt talking it over. No score, bottom of the second, and the Atlanta Braves out in the field behind Mike Hampton, who had a perfect first inning. We give you the Around the Horn, brought to you by Auto Tire. LaRoche and Giles on the right side of the infield. Garcia and DeRosa on the left side. Chipper, Andrew, and J.D. in the outfield, with Johnny Estrada catching Mike Hampton. Scott Rowland digging his way in, off to a good start in this series. 2 out of 4 last night. Scored a big run, and overall is hitting .339. Fastball for a strike.
The line drive he hit last night off of Alfonseca went to left field, kind of ball down and in. He and I were talking about how hard that ball was hit.
Up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. He just seems to be seeing the ball so well coming out of the pitcher's hand. It looked like he knew that ball was something he didn't want a part of right as it left Hampton's hand.
Yeah, but you see how he kind of takes that ball out there, kind of defying a pitcher. You know, hey, you can't scare me.
1-1.
Pitchers used to intimidate hitters. In today's game, hitters intimidate pitchers. A lot of it has to do with the umpires, in an effort to avoid any confrontations, have taken away a lot of inside pitches off of many pitchers. but the guys that win still pitch inside.
The 2-1, Roland got a rip, 2-2. Renteria will follow, and then Edmonds. If anybody gets on to Gucci here in the second. The Atlanta Braves last night were shut down by Woody Williams and Steve Klein with a perfect ninth inning and a 5-1 win. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Only 4 hits allowed last night by Cardinal pitching. On 3-2, a leadoff walk. So now Mike Hampton returns the favor, as Morris did in the top of this second inning. Matt Morris standing in front of that fan down in the corner of the dugout, trying to stay cool on a humid night as Renteria digs in. You know, when you think about the Cardinal pitching and where the Cardinals sit in this division, for the first time in a long time, the best pitching in the National League resides in the National League Central. And in my opinion, the 2 most dangerous teams in the National League reside in the National League Central Division, with the top 2 teams, and the Cardinals are right there behind them, and I think they're going to be nipping at their heels all year.
And if Cincinnati gets any kind of pitching and stays healthy, you know, they could maybe be a 4-team race.
How about the start for Dunn? He's changed his batting stroke a little bit, and the home runs have followed. I believe he's up to 11 on the year. Runner at first, nobody out.
Have you seen that ballpark yet?
Never seen it.
No. Well, it flies. So he's big and strong, and if he just makes solid contact.
Adam Dunn has 11, hitting half the time in that ballpark. Miguel Cabrera, the kid with Florida, has
21.
11.
He's only 21 years of age.
He's changed positions, came up as an infielder, and now he's a solid everyday outfielder. The 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. And who else has 11 home runs? Steve Finley.
I think he's a free agent.
He must be. Steve Finley of the Arizona Diamondbacks has 11 home runs, and the Cardinals as a team are tied with the Cubs for the most in the league. 1 ball, 1 strike on Edgar. 1 on, nobody out. Strike 2. Another guy, and then we'll focus back on the Cardinals, but another guy that nobody's paid any attention to. The kind of start he's off to is Adrian Beltre with the Los Angeles Dodgers. A year and a half ago, they were ready to get rid of him, and he was doing absolutely nothing. He's hitting .381.
Free agent to be.
There you go. Duca's right behind him, his teammate. Here's a 1-2. A good idea by Edgar, but fouled off to the right.
Edgar, all 3 of his home runs have come off of left-handed pitching, including last night.
He got Nitkowski. Another 1-2 from Mike Hampton. On its way. For Hampton, strikeout number 2. For the Cardinals in the second, out number 1.
Breaking ball, and it really was just not a very good one, but it was effective in that it induced Edgar to swing at a pitch that was up and away.
Edmonds now, and even with those career numbers, .462 average, he's gone deep against Hampton. He finds himself not in the 2 spot as he's been, but down in the number 6 position, and he gets a base hit. Roland will think about third. He'll test J.D. Drew with 1 out and make it. First and third, 1 away.
By Scott Rowland, there was no hesitation at all, and Jim Edmonds, with a good hitting, he's actually hitting much better this year off of left-handers. He's batting over .300 and in the .269 range for right-handers, but up there. And then Scott Rowland, knowing that with the rain that we've had, you're going to be a little tentative out there. You're not going to have a good handle on it. So he just challenges J.D. Drew And JD just gets it back into second base. The double play is still in order, but Jim Edmonds' base hit has really helped out.
Now it's Taguchi.
And remember, we talked about small ball in our open.
Same thing.
You never know.
There is a possibility of a bunt. First and third, one out. Instead, Taguchi gives it a rip, strike one.
Just never know. Taguchi, fundamentally very sound. 6 sacrifice bunts, is tied for third in the National League. Tony's already executed 3 squeeze plays this year. So has one of them. You got a ground ball pitcher on the mound. You never know.
Well, now with 2 strikes, chances dwindle. Our Bank of America higher standards. We showed you that the Cardinals are tied with the Cubs for the most home runs in the National League. However, they're third in the National League with 19 sacrifice bunts, with the count 0-2. Not much of a chance of Taguchi trying to lay one down. First and third, one out. And a big strikeout for Hampton. 2 down, it takes a hit.
Should have bunted.
Here's Matheny.
Matheny had a couple RBIs last night without a hit.
Got one on a force out at second. And another on a sacrifice bunt.
First RBI since April 30th. And his second multi-RBI game. His last RBI hit came on April the 11th. So let's get rid of that stat.
First and third, 2 down, and Matheny is jammed. Strike one. The Cardinals with Albert Pujols at the end of the dugout, just out there studying Mike Hampton. I know before games that he tries to pick up little keys on each pitcher and shares them with his teammates. If he picks something up, the guy's delivery. Matheny trying to dump one into right. J.D. Drew is there for Atlanta, and the Cardinals miss a golden opportunity. They strand a couple, as did the Braves, and after 2 in St. Louis, no score.
He had a pitcher taken with press.
Really?
Yeah, you know, from Redbird Roost.
Yeah. Well, that's where he
Brandy
was.
Burgers.
He was hanging out for 4 or 5 innings over in the Redbird Roost down to our right. Here's Mike Hampton. And he rips one into left center field. On the run is Taguchi. Will he get there? No. Another hit for Hampton. His third of the year, now 3 out of 12, and it's a leadoff double for the Atlanta pitcher.
Well, we talked about how he's a good athlete. All-state 2 times in football and baseball. And he went to Ripon. Plugs the gap out in left center. One hops the wall. Well, he's going to do everything he can to try and pick up his first victory of the year.
And he has owned Matt Morris now 5 out of 7. He's at second with nobody out, and here's DeRosa. Braves show bunt, and somehow that ball missed the body of Mark DeRosa. I don't know how, but it's ball 1. How'd Matheny catch it?
Matt was asking for a strike. Does he pull the bat back? Yeah, he does. And somehow he gets out of the way.
Two balls, no strikes.
After the fastball inside, that breaking ball had his knees buckling too.
Cardinals in on the corner still, even with the count 2-0, and DeRosa was ready to hack if he liked it. He evidently didn't like it. 2 balls and a strike.
Up a little bit away, would have been a pretty easy ball maybe to put into right field.
Now 3-1. DeRosa was up there ready to give an out, and by falling behind, the Cardinals now have DeRosa up there swinging it. So they have to deal with that. Runner at second, nobody out as Atlanta tries to take the lead. Full count. And a nice play by Marcus Giles, who took his bat in the on-deck circle and, like a great goal scorer in front of the net, just tipped it up into the crowd for a souvenir beyond the Atlanta dugout. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Morris wants Matheny to go through it again. How about a strikeout? Ground ball to short. Renneria will go to third, and they have Hampton caught up. Roland tags him. 1 away.
That's how you execute a rundown play.
Fielder's choice 6-5, and Roland was smart enough to just run Hampton back toward the second base bag and did not have to give it up to get the out.
Yeah, anytime you can avoid, the ball was not really hit behind him, and then Roland just keeps on closing the gap and then applies a tag. Anytime you can show the ball like that, act like you're going to throw it, but you don't want to deke your infielder. But by the same token, if you can avoid making an extra throw or two, you're better off.
Morris misses low with ball 1 to Giles with J.D. Drew on deck, so that's a nice exchange. The Cardinals get a runner at first with 1 out. Hampton, who led off with a double, is erased. Odd swing by Giles, 0-2.
Little guy,
Big bubble.
Oh, I missed that, but sugarless? Should be.
No.
I was thinking with big bubble like that, it's probably got a lot of sugar.
You need the sugar to keep it together. 0-2
Yeah.
pitch. Reaching for it, and that will hop foul. Just to get the practice in, Roland picks it up with his bare hand. The count still 0-2 as J.D. Drew watches from the on-deck circle. Runner at first, 1 out. Florida got a run in the first inning in Houston. Giles. Morris wasted. That's one of the few times this season that our radar gun matched up with the stadium radar gun at 90 miles per hour.
Just trying to throw that ball up and away, get him to chase.
Breaking ball is looped into center field. Edmonds broke back, comes in. Luna, what play! Hector Luna with a sensational catch, 2 out.
He was the only one that was going to get to it, because Jim Edmonds a little bit fooled with a big swing and did not break on the ball as well as he normally does. So he's going to fall short, but Luna just went out, keeps on running out, looking up, reaches out at the last second. If you reach out too soon, it'll slow you down, and didn't hear his center fielder call him off, so he stayed with the play and made it dandy.
Now J.D. Drew. 1 on, 2 out, ball 1. First time up, J.D. Drew got ahead on the count 3-0, but Morris came back to strike him out.
The Cardinals are going to try and throw him everything soft. 2 change-ups.
2-0.
J.D., who has a very quick hands and a quick bat, but is fearful of being jammed. They're going to throw a fastball here.
And Drew lines it into left field for a hit. That sets up Chipper Jones with 2 on, 2 out.
J.D. is a fastball hitter. He doesn't want to be jammed, so he pulls off a lot of fastballs that are in on the inner part. They know he's got power inside, so they were set up away, and right off the end of the bat, he might even broke the bat. But the thought is to throw everything off speed.
2 on with 2 out for Chipper Jones, and a bender is in there for strike 1. Chipper so far is 0 for 4 in this set. He walked his first time up.
That kind of slow breaking ball, get ahead.
To the right side for Albert. How big was that play by Hector Luna in this inning? Over his shoulder for the second out. Then Drew gets a hit. Chipper Jones makes the final out, and the Braves waste a leadoff double. Our Schnucks date in baseball history. We go back to the end of Old Busch Stadium, taking home plate away, and then Stan the Man putting it in place right here. 38 years ago today, May 12, 1966, Busch Stadium officially opened, and here we are, 1 season away from its final year. That'll be next year as Morris takes the ball from Mike Hampton. Matt Morris would like to return the favor. Hampton doubled off him, leading off the top of this 3rd inning, strike 1.
Joe, I think they took out home plate and had a helicopter deliver it here to Busch Stadium. And of course, Stan is in attendance tonight.
Morris, pretty good rip, strike 2.
It's pretty good talent, along with Stan Musial, Red Chandish, Lou Brock, and Bob Gibson, that are here at the stadium enjoying this one.
They were all here when Matt Morris made the start on opening day. They only watched Matt Morris pitch. A 1-2 delivery from Hampton. 2-2. Luna will follow, and then Reggie Sanders. Cardinals have only 1 hit, and that belongs to Jim Edmonds. Cardinals had a scoring chance. The Braves have had a couple, but no score. And that's easy for LaRoche. 1 away. A 1 down and back to the top of the order. Houston followed with a run in their half of the 1st inning. They're 1-1 after 1 against Florida.
Doesn't look like the Mike Hampton that the Atlanta Braves have been seeing in 2004. It's like the Mike Hampton we're used to seeing, a very tough competitor.
Not the guy who has started the season 0-3 with a 7.67 ERA.
Joe, you remember his first start as a Colorado Rocky. He shut out the Cardinals in Colorado, and you said, oh, with that great sinker, the high altitude's not going to have a negative effect on him.
He will break the mold. He will be the guy that will be a free agent pitcher going out there and have success. That's a swinging bunt, and that might be a hit. A race to the bag, out, as Hampton just got there before Luna.
Mike Hampton got turned around a little bit and didn't realize that ball was hit to the right side, and he needed to get scrambled and get to the first base bag. If you've got plenty of time, you can run up along the line, and you good call right there, and Montague gets it right. If you know you're going to be a foot race, you got to run directly towards the bag. And a close play, but a correct call by Eddie Montague.
Hampton nearly turned his ankle, rolled it over at the very end of that play. Able to stay on his feet. Now Reggie Sanders bats with 2 out, nobody on. Left side in the hole. Garcia. Safe. Infield hit for Reggie Sanders.
Play by Garcia, though. Out on the outfield grass. He dives for it. Pop up. And lost his footing ever so slightly, or they might have had a play. See Reggie at the other end, kind of little stutter step, getting his feet under control. But it still didn't impede his progress that much, and infield single. Good play, though, by Garcia.
Mike Hampton originally came up in '93 with Seattle. Went to Houston. And his final year in '99 with the Astros was 22-4 with a 2.90 ERA. Went to the Mets for 1 year. Won 15 games, then was a free agent. First year with Colorado, he did win 14 games, but lost 13. But after a 7-15 year, he was finished with the Rockies, and last year, a 14-game winner with the Braves. Pujols a pretty good rip, strike 1. last year with Atlanta. 2 starts, 0-1 in the postseason against the Cubs in that division series, and back in 2000 against the Cardinals, 2-0, 16 innings pitched, no runs on 9 hits. That's a pretty good postseason.
He's won 10 games during the regular season against the Cardinals too, I believe.
There's 4-5 here at Busch Stadium, and the count of 0-1. Albert would like to crank one. He has hit 9 home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a runner on. And there's the runner, Reggie Sanders. Held on by LaRoche. Albert checked his swing, 2-1.
Albert 0 for 1 tonight, but 9 for 19 off of left-handed pitching already this season. A lot of damage. Only .231 average against right-handers. How unusual is that?
Check on Sanders. Another nice crowd here tonight. Not as big, it doesn't appear, as we had here last night. Early start. We just about split the difference. Normally we start at 7:10. We were scheduled to start at 6:10, and we started almost 6:40 because of a rain shower we had here in downtown St. Louis. Times called at the plate. But right now it's beautiful.
So it's cooled down a little bit too.
Quicker throw over to first by Hampton. With a count of 2-1, the Atlanta Braves are acting as though they believe Reggie Sanders will take off. Sanders has so far stolen 6, been caught only once. Not running, and ball 3 inside to Pujols with Rolen on deck. Maybe a little 2-out infield hit by Reggie Sanders can start something here in the 3rd.
It's part of the order you're going to expect and need to get production.
Hampton has to come to Pujols. 90-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike at the knees. Full count. Sanders will go.
Just have to believe Albert was looking for something else. And even if you're ahead in the count, if you're looking for something else, take it. Still got to come to you on a full count.
We gave him a fastball on 3-1. What'll it be on 3-2?
Another one.
And to the left side for Garcia. A lollipop throw. It gets away, and Sanders will end up at 3rd base. 1st and 3rd on the throw by Garcia.
You just have to assume that the wet ball, that ball got away from him. And I can't believe this. They scored a hit.
Single E6.
Okay. A single, though.
A single E6 to allow Sanders to go to 3rd, and that is a gift hit for Albert Pujols. He'll take it. Garcia gets the error on top of it.
Yeah.
How has Scott Rolen been in a spot such as this?
Well, that's a tremendous average with 2 outs.
2 outs, runner in scoring position. He has 1st and 3rd. Strike 1.
Cardinals were able to take care of the defense last night. Look how deep Chipper Jones is in left field. And they're actually in center and right, playing Scott Rolen around to the right side.
Right under his arms, and Rolen barely flinched.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just almost like you can come in there, you aren't going to scare me. Just barely moves.
Morris hoping for something big from Scott Rolen. 2 balls and a strike. We have never seen Scott Rowland in a Cardinal uniform this dialed in.
Tony La Russa's theory is that slide he made in Boston really injured his shoulder and neck, and it hampered him the second half of last year, and he just feels that Scott is locked in this year, healthy.
He is spitting on these pitches when they're halfway to the plate. He knows he wants no part of them, and he's waiting for a bad one from Hampton.
Scott Rowland is a guy, and if you make good pitches, you're going to get him out a certain percentage of time. But if you make a mistake.
Base is loaded for Renteria. Did you know, Al, that you have to get up early tomorrow? Come right back here. You can wear a golf shirt, though. 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Cardinals today/tonight. And it'll be the finale of this set. It'll either be the rubber game or the Cardinals will be looking for the sweep, and a pitching matchup of the Cardinals' Jeff Suppan against the right-hander John Thompson for Atlanta. The runners on. Sanders, Pujols, Rowland. All of this, and the ball hasn't left the infield. And Renteria makes the Braves pay. 1 run scores. Here comes Pujols. He's safe, and it's 2-0 St. Louis.
That is the Edgar Renteria that we know. And he struck out the first time, but he really got himself out. This time more focused. And how many times do we see him do a lot of damage out towards right center? Right there. Good controlled swing. Nice throw to the plate by Andruw Jones, but Pujols is always going to be chugging along and running hard. Crosses the plate. The Cardinals have a 2-0 lead.
Now Rowland at second, Renteria at first, 2 out for Jim Edmonds, who's already singled, and he gets a good rip. Edmonds singled through the right side on the first pitch. His first time up. I'll say this, we talked yesterday about the 2 center fielders, the guy at the plate now and the guy out in center for Atlanta, Andruw Jones. And to me, I know Jones has got a good arm, but as far as good, strong, and accurate, I'd take the guy at the plate. That's high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You really can't go wrong with either one of them. You know, they're both won 6 Gold Gloves. Leo Mazzoni's going to come out and talk to Mike Hampton. But they're phenomenal athletes, and you probably could pull 100 baseball scouts and they'd be 50-50.
Mazzoni with a little pat on the back for Mike Hampton, who's got to be frustrated. He gave an infield hit to Sanders. Pujols hit a ground ball to the right of Garcia, the shortstop, who made the stop and then just lollipopped it over to first base for a throwing error on a base hit, as it was ruled for Pujols. And Rowland walked, and Edgar Renteria shot one into right center field to make it 2-0. And Edmonds is looking to pile on. Two balls and a strike with Taguchi on deck. Jim's average at 282.
One of those, maybe a reminder from Mazzoni that Jim Edmonds has had success against you. You don't know much about Taguchi, but
Edmonds lifts it into left center field. And Chipper Jones will take it to end the third. But the Cardinals come up with a couple. And the defense again lets down the Atlanta Braves. After 3 in St. Louis, 2-0 Cardinals. Put the Cardinals on top. Score of 2-0 as we go to the middle innings. 4th frame, and Matt Morris has the lead, and now he'll deal with Estrada, Andruw Jones, and Adam LaRoche. There has been a difference in the way these two teams have played defense in this series already. You could make a very strong case that Mike Hampton deserved a better fate at the bottom of the 3rd inning, but his defense let him down. The Cardinals come in 4th overall in the National League, having committed 17 errors. Another good curveball for strike 2. Atlanta is 13th. They've committed 24. That's coming in 25 now. And the defense hurt the Braves last half inning. 0-2 to Estrada. Jammed him, and a pop-up is down the line. It is foul.
So the Atlanta Braves had a game earlier where they had 7 errors in the game. And Leo Mazzoni said he said he never went to a pitcher after throwing 2 innings, giving up 8 runs, and saying, nice job.
And
they were all unearned.
To be fair to Atlanta, 7 errors in one night is going to wreck your early season numbers. 3 very good breaking balls get Estrada. 2 on called strikes, and then that last one swinging. 1 out. Head into McDonald's and purchase any extra value meal at breakfast or any time throughout the day and receive a Cards. Every card has a Cardinal prize or special offer, including season tickets to see the Cardinals play next year. The last year of Busch Stadium, a deluxe suite, tickets to Big Mac Land, and much, much more. Cards, scratch and win. Tickets available only at McDonald's. And Ronald is up there signing autographs as we speak.
So I was saying, Ronald just showed up tonight.
On 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. On 2-1, Andrew Jones hitting .248, hammers it foul. Ronald has vacated the premises, but Big Mac Land is left behind. Mark McGuire has vacated the premises. Big Mac Land has been left behind.
He's kind of endorsing.
Don't even go there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Another one.
With 1 out, nobody on, Andrew Jones strikes out, and another curveball. 2 strikeouts on 2 breaking balls from Matt Morris. And 3 on the night for the Cardinal right-hander.
Use that breaking ball, and you can change speeds with it. But there you get that 12-6, but you start out away from them and get them off balance and reach it. It's the beard, Joe. The beard.
Is that it?
That's it.
This should be an easy inning if Luna can do his job. He does, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. That'll help Matt Morris later on. That was quick. Cardinals will have the bottom 3 in the lineup. They lead 2-0. There's our night so far. So Taguchi, his first time struck out with first and third 1 out. He leads it off, and he takes a strike from Mike Hampton. Taguchi, Matheny, and Morris. The Braves in the 5th will have the bottom 2, then DeRosa. That's fine. Somebody give that person down the line a glove.
Yeah, it's always neat, you know, how your current players have so much respect for the former players, isn't it?
I've always been fascinated by that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. What have they done?
Well, you know, I mean, the Hungo Award was won by the bullpen, and rightfully so, with their great work. I'm sure they really cherish that
Memento. That keepsake. The 1-2. Taguchi hits it in the air to left. That ball is gone. So Taguchi goes deep. Number 1. And it's 3-0 Cardinals in the 4th.
Didn't let me sacrifice first time up, so I'll show you I'm a home run hitter. Well disciplined, and look at with 2 strikes, he chokes up on the bat and lets it fly. Red Cheney's would tell you that, you know, that doesn't slow you down offensively.
Here's Matheny into right center field. Andrew Jones on the move. What a play. Took at least a double away from Mike Matheny. And that's the first out here in the 4th.
Well, we talked about these 2 center fielders that they could put on a show, and Andrew Jones shows you one.
Let's take a listen. See the mic right there, right on the Amaranth sign.
Yeah.
Matt Morris stands in with 1 out. Strike 1. So Taguchi last year ended up with 3 home runs with the Cardinals. Had hit 2 at Memphis, 5 the year before at Memphis, and then with Oryx in Japan. He was always a decent average hitter with regard to batting average, but never hit more than 10 home runs. That got a piece of Estrada, the catcher. It's 0-2.
Everybody, you know when you're hit as many home runs as I do, you just put your head down and you run.
You saw that little wry smile creep onto the face of Woody Williams when he was over congratulating So on his way back to the dugout. That had to feel good. The guy at the plate is happy to see it. It's 3-0 here in the 4th inning, and it's an 0-2 count on Matt Morris. Good curveball for out number 2. Taguchi missed an RBI chance his first time. He created his own here in the 4th in his second at bat. Through the lineup. Season up top. And what's happened tonight? The first time through the lineup, Cardinals were 1 for 8. Second time this season, opponents have hit 300 against him, and the second time has not been too kind to Mike. With hits by Sanders, Pujols, rolling a walk, Renteria a base hit for 2 runs, and now Taguchi with a home run.
You know, sometimes when you have that little mental block of tough times getting through the first inning,
a little bow from Edgar Renteria to So Taguchi. Luna sticks the bat out and pokes it into right center field. Nice swing by Hector, and that'll get Reggie Sanders to the plate.
Isn't it nice to see a young player that you hold as a Rule 5 player, and many times you just take a roster spot, but he's going to contribute.
I know we've already invoked the name Miguel Mejia this season, a guy who in '96 was basically dragged along on the Cardinal roster, a guy who just didn't add anything. And Cardinals found a good one when they picked up Hector Luna. Some scout saw something they liked.
Well, where'd Cleveland have all the talent at their level that they couldn't save a roster spot for Luna?
That's the surprising part. That's also a reason why the Cardinals probably can't make a deal with Cleveland, trade a player so they can get him out of that Rule 5 situation and send him out if they want to.
Right now, you don't want to send him out. He's too valuable to you.
1 on, 2 out. Reggie was trying to pump one. Strike 1. He's hit 8. His average is down to 265. An infield hit started a 2-run rally last inning.
Cardinals have stole 26 bases amongst the league leaders, but Mike Hampton very preoccupied with guys on first base, especially with 2 outs.
Be a spot if Luna can figure out how to get a jump against Hampton, where you wouldn't mind him giving it a shot. He's 1 for 2 in the stolen base department this season.
I just keep on thinking, split his concentration, worry about that runner, and make a mistake to Reggie.
Reggie is a good mistake hitter.
Yes, he is.
Just out of the strike zone, a ball and a strike. Braves are 3 games under 500. Cardinals are back over the 500 mark, and last night with their victory won back-to-back games for the first time since the end of April. So if nothing else, Hampton has fallen behind Reggie Sanders. Has to come to him with a guy like Pujols on deck.
Atlanta Braves with all the injuries, but they've got an outstanding manager and Bobby Cox and staff. Not going to let them get down on. And when it's all said and done, they're going to be in the thick of things.
Sanders makes it 2-2.
Don't have the resources that they have had in the past, but I think what they're going to, Bobby Cox is just going to let them, not going to panic.
The days of Ted Turner just throwing money at it are gone under the direction of AOL Time Warner. It's different. Check on Luna, who doesn't have a big lead and is reading the move of Hampton easily.
Jones saying, you got 2 strikes, 2 outs. That guy can't go anyplace if you get the hitter out.
Jones with a terrific play in this inning that at this point has saved a run. Took a double away from Matheny in right center field. There's strike number 3. The sounds from Busch Stadium. So Taguchi, Andrew Jones here in the 4th. Be the Southwest Airlines family of the game and sit in the special Southwest Airlines suite here at the ballpark. Send a postcard to P.O. Box 771192, St. Louis, Missouri 63177. Hello to you and hello to you. Top of the 5th inning, 3-0. The Cardinals have out-hit Atlanta 6-3, and it's the bottom 2 in the lineup against Matt Morris. Garcia, Hampton, back to the top, DeRosa. Jesse Garcia flied out with runners at second and third, 2 out. His first time up. On the end of the bat, strike 1. Do you like what you see from Matt Morris so far?
I do. Doesn't bother me with velocity down a little bit. I like the aggressiveness.
Seems to have a better breaking ball tonight.
So on top of it, you know, very few frisbees.
Boo, that young lady in her sippy cup. Maybe headed for the exit. That's into left field, and Taguchi hardly had to move. 1 out.
And Matt's throwing strikes, is controlling the strike zone. Only walked 1 man today, but only 3 hits.
Do you remember as a younger guy, Al, when he used to ride his bike to the ballpark for starts?
Well, I remember in spring training, right?
And I think during the regular season.
Like, couldn't afford a house.
Times are different.
Times are different.
A 1-0 pitch. Hampton doubled into left center field his first time up, but then was out on a fielder's choice when Renneria threw to third on a ground ball by DeRosa. There's that good breaking ball, strike 2. You have to pitch Hampton like you would a number 6 or 7 hitter. 2-2.
So I find that anytime you relax and say, oh, it's a pitcher up there or it's an 8th place hitter, you're just asking for trouble. You better respect anybody standing in that batter's box.
Fastball gets him 2 out. Not only a fastball, but put in a perfect spot. Back to the top of the order, DeRosa. Walter Payton's personality and relentless style of play endeared him to fans around the world, but for all his endurance on the field, rare illness cut short his life and left behind a legacy that will never be forgotten. Walter Payton, Beyond the Glory, Sunday at 8 on Fox Sports Net.
Hey, this Sunday, join me at one of the Diamond Suites. Sign autographs, takes photos, talk strategy. Each ticket will include a hot dog, brats, potato salad, Bud Light beer, Coca-Cola products, Frito-Lay. There's 25 tickets available, and they're on each of the Diamond Suite tickets will be sold on an individual basis. Tickets are $90. To order your tickets, call the Cardinals Group Sales Office at 314-425-0600.
That's a little pop-up into right. Matt Morris is really rolling. We're halfway through this game. Game 2 of this 3-game set with Atlanta. Cardinals won it last night. Here are the guys coming up. They lead tonight 3-zip. Well, we talked about how this series has played out so far. The defense has struggled for the Atlanta Braves, and a big reason why they lost last night. It's hurt them again in this game. The Cardinals, on the other hand, have gone the opposite way with outstanding defense. Not only last night, but tonight. And it includes that play by Hector Luna. Oh my goodness. How do you make that play, DeRosa? What a play. That's as hard as Pujols has hit a ball all year.
Wow, they just got mad because we showed them some sloppy defense, and that was an outstanding play. I mean, that ball was just a rocket, and how he just takes a flying stab, knocks him down, but he gets up and throws Albert out. Might have got a gift hit last time, but that was having a hit taken away.
What a good play by Mark DeRosa, and Pujols got to be frustrated after hitting a ball like that to be sitting in the dugout. That's ball 1 to Scott Rowland, who's walked twice. Talking about the play by Luna out in right center field. Braves have made 2 good plays tonight. Play by Andrew Jones in right center field, and then that one by DeRosa. First out in this 5th inning. Rowland has hit 8 home runs and is hitting .339. That's wide, and Rowland might walk 3 times in a row.
To this point, he hadn't wanted much of Scott.
(3-1).
Scott thought it was low, but Mike got the call.
I don't think if I'm rolling, I mind at all.
No, 3-1 cap. Love that hitting count.
Let me have another rip, says Rowland, and he hits it in the air to right on a line to Drew.
I'll take the walk.
Let's go back to the walk. That would have been better. Renteria, who has probably the biggest swing of the bat tonight. The old 2-out, 2-run single into right center field back in the 3rd inning. Taguchi added a home run. It's 3-0 here in the 5th. Strike 1. An important inning coming up for Matt Morris. 6th inning is always crucial. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Giles, Drew, and Chipper Jones. 0-2. With the bases empty and 2 down, Renteria takes the ball. Bottom of the 3rd inning in Houston, 1-1 with the Marlins and Astros playing, and the Houston Astros don't lose anymore. 21 wins on the season. The Cardinals have 17. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the Atlanta Braves will tell you, Cardinals are hoping they've had some of their problems are a thing in the past. You're going to have streaks where things don't go right for you. Other times you can't lose.
It was 0-2. Now it's 3-2. 3-2. Renteria reached for it. And DeRosa knocks it away from Garcia. Renteria will think about and head to second. So after the play to start the inning by DeRosa, this one is ruled a double, as all DeRosa could do was try to get there, and with that effort knocked it away from Garcia.
Third baseman, anything he can reach, he goes after, and by going after this one, he deflected away from his shortstop, who might have had a play. The only way you can really score it is the double. So after a tremendous play on a much tougher ball, he plays this one into a double for Edgar.
And now it's Edmonds, and we'll see, even with the home run that Taguchi hit his last time up, he's on deck, how much they want to deal with Edmonds. Ball one.
You have to almost believe, and I know Chipper Jones plays pretty deep, but you have to believe that he did not react on that ball until it got through the infield, allowing Renteria to get to second. It could be an extra run.
If somebody can get a hit, will it be Edmonds? That gets away from Estrada. And the defense is, outside of a couple of exceptions, really been porous for Atlanta.
Scored a wild pitch, but could have very easily been a pass ball and should have been a pass ball. He tried to backhand it, and that ball wasn't even in the dirt. He just boxed it, and maybe now Estrada's talking to him because he crossed him up, but a good deke for the official score to make him feel better. Mike Hampton, you can see already wearing a little bit of frustration with some of the plays behind him. Can't compound it by making mistakes thrown to the plate, though.
2 balls, no strikes. An extra run is 90 feet away. And Edmonds rockets one to right, but Drew stumbles and can't make the play. In to score is Renteria. The defense lets down Atlanta again, and it's 4-0 in the 5th.
Now you get a reaction.
Now they react for Drew.
I mean, we did have rain here. He went back. That is a sinking line drive that the ball just has a tumbling action. And we've seen JD make that play more times than not. The ball hit very hard. It's going to have a lot of topspin. It's coming down on it. But when he tried to backhand, he goes back on the ball. He slips. He still tried to stab at it. Almost had a shot. Goes off his glove. And Mike Hampton has to guard against another mental letdown. It's a double and an RBI. Boy, that's adding injury to insult.
And really a spot where Taguchi, with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, should try to drive in the run. Edmonds at second, 2 out. Taguchi just homered his last time up. And Okendo just walked halfway down and said, hey, swing the bat.
Right. Mike Hampton is very proud and tough competitor, and he may not have liked that maneuver.
That's not a good baseball play anyway.
No.
1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Runner at second, 2 out. Strike 2 on Taguchi. Cardinals got 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and now 1 here in the 5th. And from a little ground ball hit by Renteria that was played into a double, the line drive, albeit on rocket, hit by Edmonds. J.D. Drew stumbled going back to get it. This led to an extra run, and Taguchi could really hurt Atlanta with another 2-out hit. Two and two.
Pujols Cardinals hit the ball extremely hard for an out. Rowland hit a line drive to right for the out. So choking up again.
This is, however, one of those in-between games that we talked about at the start of the telecast. Try to explain that if we get the chance, and if it makes the play, we won't. That'll do it. Cardinals have either tried to scratch out a couple of runs and been shut down, or blown out an opponent. Tonight, right in the middle, and they lead 4-0 after 5. Morris so far. We go to the 6th inning. And Morris has allowed no runs on 3 hits, leads 4-0 now, and Giles is first up, the number 2 hitter. And that's going to start the inning well for Atlanta. Floater into left center field. 4th hit for the Braves. Here comes Drew. 2004 Ford Ranger, $3,000 cash back or 0% financing for 60 months. Qualified buyer. You heard right. $3,000 cash back or 0% financing. Only at your quality Ford stores. Your home run to Cardinal Baseball Fun. Here's Drew. That's crunched into right, and it's 4-2 Cardinals. For J.D., his 5th of the season.
All J.D.'s looking for is the fastball.
And that's now 12 home runs allowed by Matt Morris this season.
I will think that Dave Duncan did not like this pitch. Look where Matheny set up away. Look where he glove reaches on the inner half. That's all JD has tried to do, is turn on fastballs, and he turned on it. There was no doubt about it. 12th home run, as you said, that leads the National League in home runs allowed, and Matt Morris tried to trick him on pitch 1.
The 1-0. Chipper Jones pops it up for Taguchi. If anybody should know how to pitch J.D. Drew, it should be the Cardinal staff. 1 out.
Well, I mean, exactly right. And it's worth mentioning again, Scott Rowland telling me that, you know, J.D. in spring training, they started coming out changeups, curveballs, all the things that other teams tried to do to him. And he felt like in spring training they should have thrown him all fastballs to set him up for the regular season on throwing the changeups.
Cardinals only play the Braves in 2 series. After this one's over, the 2 don't meet until August, the middle part of August in Atlanta. Estrada takes the ball. He struck out on a good Matt Morris curveball his last time up there. Broke his bat. Two out. To end the 2nd inning, our hot pitch of the game brought to you by Hardee's. It was Garcia with runners at 2nd and 3rd, 2 out. And Morris went down and away. There's the result. And it was scoreless until the Cardinals got 2 next inning in the 3rd. Now the lead is 4-2.
The interesting thing to me was I saw Matheny set up inside on the hot pitch.
Set up away to Drew, and Matt Morris missed his spot. A high hop for Renteria. That'll do it for Atlanta in the 6th. So the Braves come up with 2. J.D. goes deep, deep, deep to right. 4-2 Cardinals after 5.5. 2 now is the Cardinals bat in the bottom of the 6th inning. J.D. Drew cut the lead in half. What's on tap brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time tomorrow. Game time is 12:10. We're on the air. Dan McLaughlin will do his thing at 11:30 on Fox Sports Net. Jeff Suppan looking for his first home Cardinal win against John Thompson, the right-hander.
We're going to find out early about Tony La Russa's lineup tomorrow.
We will have our affiliates breakfast tomorrow morning at 8:30. Mike Matheny first up, then Morris, then Luna. It has happened again, Al Raboski. The Cardinals now have 20 quality starts. That fake statistic that agents dreamed up. Try to get their clients more money as Matheny pops it up. But it's worth noting that as Garcia pulls it in, there's one out. Matt Morris will go back out to work in the 7th. A quality start is defined as 6 or more innings, allowing 3 or fewer runs. You can debate all day long as to whether that should be a quote-unquote quality start, but the Cardinals have done it 20 times now, and they came in 3rd in the big leagues, tied with Boston behind the Cubs and Astros in that department. They've tied Houston, although they might go past that with Miller on the mound tonight.
It's a arbitration stat.
Absolutely. It's a pop-up that is foul, and LaRoche makes a great catch, 2 out. Base is empty, and Luna's coming up. Copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC. And Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports. It is an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. Here's Hector Luna. First pitch swinging. That's as easy as it gets. Is that a 3-pitch inning? 4 at the most. We go to the 7th inning, and it's 8:21 on the scoreboard clock. And evidently past his bedtime. Tonight on the Best Damn Sports Show, period, one of the best boxers in the world, Roy Jones Jr., drops by to talk about his upcoming fight with Antonio Tarver. Explains why this time it's more than personal. As Leanne Tweeden heats up the Best Damn set, fill us in on all the latest gossip with her insider. Catch the Best Damn Sports Show, period, tonight at 11, only on Fox Sports Net. Leanne will be in town this weekend. The numbers, the line for Hampton and Morris. Leanne Tweeden will be here to watch her boyfriend, Josh Beckett, pitch against the Cardinals on Friday, and then she'll stay over and be a golfer. She's going to be part of Children's Hospital Golf Tournament out at Boone Valley on Monday. There's a foursome left if somebody wants it. I'll take good care of you. That's all I'm going to say. 1 ball, 1 strike. LaRoche takes strike 2. Adam so far has grounded out twice.
Rick Pendleton is telling me that LaRoche very laid back. Morris kind of slowing himself down a little bit.
A 1-2 to LaRoche. 2-2. Cardinal bullpen, I would imagine, will go to work at any sign of trouble here in the 7th. It is a very well-rested bullpen. Now it's 3-2. They're starting to stir.
Yeah, hopefully they can not stir.
Hard hit, but right at Luna. 1 out. Breaking ball that LaRoche hit hard, but he's 0 for 3, and Garcia will be the hitter.
Only 83 pitches, so good to strike the 1-ball ratio. Hey, you know, we were talking about how those guys have such respect for the players.
Yeah, we
in the past.
never finished that.
Yeah, you know Steve Klein and Izzy, those guys are just love the Hungo Award.
They were absolutely beside themselves.
What's that?
There is your Hungo Award bobblehead doll in the Cardinal bullpen. That's what they thought of that award.
No, they taped my eyes so I wouldn't have to watch them. Some of the things that we have learned about their mannerisms down there. They taped my mouth. They hung me in effigy. They say they're holding it for ransom.
Here's a 2-0 pitch, 3-0. You willing to pay to get that?
No. Somebody else wants it. They can pay them. I don't think it take much there.
On 3-0, Garcia looks at a strike. Come back, Jesse. 3 balls and a strike. See if Morris can come back and get the number 8 hitter. Pinch hitter for Kyle is in the on-deck circle. Three and 2.
Atta baby.
And a 3-2. Garcia hits it to third. Rolling with a backhand. How's your arm? Awesome. 2 out.
Let him hit the ball and let your defense do the rest.
Al, that's a big out. Coming back from a 3-0 count to get Garcia for the second out here in the 7th.
He just knocked out Mike Hampton. They'll go to the pinch hitter, Brukal.
Brukal off the bench. Last night he pinch hit. He went after the first pitch and hit a 1-hopper over to third for Roland.
Getting closer, returning to action. He jammed his ring finger, sliding into a base.
This time Brukal's taking, and he takes a fastball for a strike. A right ring finger suffered on the 1st of May. Injury sliding into the bag, and he is on with 2 out. And DeRosa will be the hitter. The tying run will come to the plate as Brukal delivers, and it makes a difference when Rafael Brukal is not at the top of this Atlanta lineup. There's a baseball out on the field, and it was just spotted by Sotaguchi.
Got away from the Atlanta Braves bullpen.
So Brukal is on, and DeRosa will hit, hitting only .210. However, a threat. He's hit 2 home runs, driven in 17. This series 1 for 7.
Kevin Grabowski will be the next pitcher.
So not only a new look to this lineup and certainly the starting rotation, but it carries over to the bench and the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves. Breaking ball is a good one. We saw that last night with Almanza, Nitkowski, Alfonseca. Here comes a 1-1. DeRosa. Strike 2. Cardinals in the bottom of the 7th will have Sanders, Pujols, and Roland. Dave Duncan hoping Matt can get through this last hitter.
Yeah, keep a close eye, but
breaking ball got him, and there's out number 3 in the top of the 7th. Another strikeout for Matt. That's number 5 on the night, and it's time to stretch here at Busch Stadium. A humid evening, and Morris has done his job. He's gone 7. Will he go any more? Cardinals lead it 4-2. Out of the 7th inning now, and the big bats will step to the plate. That's good news for Roberta Mathis, today's merchandise prize winner in the Hyundai long drive inning sweepstakes. The Cardinals hit a home run in this inning. Roberta Mathis qualifies for the Hyundai Santa Fe drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. Reggie Sanders, then Albert Pujols, then Scott Rowland. Cardinals up 4-2 and dealing with Kevin Grabowski on our call to the bullpen, brought to you by the St. Louis Renaissance Grand Hotel.
He's 1-0, good ERA. He's allowed just 1 run in his 13 appearances this season. He's retired 10 of the 14 first batters he's faced.
In for a strike. Reggie Sanders, who's tonight as an infield hit, but it was a big one. It came with 2 out in the 3rd inning. And Pujols got an infield hit. And after a walk to Roland, Renteria. Oh, goodness. How did Grabowski get out of the way of that jagged weapon flying at him? 1 out. He ducked underneath the bat. Did it catch him at all?
Well,
it may have.
He's kind of grabbed at his back as if it might have caught a little bit in the small of the back, but 6'5", 225 is what he's listed. And this bat just shatters in the barrel There's a weapon, a missile coming right at him. It does go across his back.
But all things
appears
considered,
to be, yeah, it could have been a lot worse as he ducks, and it kind of didn't catch it flush. He reaches back there, and he says he's okay. He can't wait to be out there and retire a batter. You know, he's pitched very well for Bobby Cox, but he'd like to atone for his last outing. He came in with the bases loaded in the 7th inning on Sunday versus Houston and walked in the winning run.
Here's Albert. Hit an absolute rocket down to third his last time up, but it was played very well by DeRosa. Ball one from Grabowski as the Cardinals have a left-hander Klein getting ready in the bullpen. Typically, and I'm sure by the end of the year that will turn around. Only a 206 average, 7th inning or later for Albert. There's a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, uncharacteristic too is how he struggled against right-handed pitching, and I'm sure that'll turn around too.
With 1 out, Albert took a strike, tailing in over the inside part, 1 and 2. Roland will be next. Estrada got a piece of that. The Braves in the 8th will have Giles, Drew, and Chipper Jones, then Estrada. So with the exception of Giles, while the left-hander Klein is getting ready, Drew and Chipper Jones, Estrada, the last 2 guys switch hitters who the Cardinals would rather have bat right-handed. Two balls, 2 strikes. Maybe 1 more hitter for Matt Morris if they want to send him back out there. That caught the catcher, and it's still 2 and 2 on Albert. The trainer is jogging out to make sure that Estrada's okay.
Jeff Porter, and now Bobby Cox. Looked like he jumped up to try and get that pitch and got him in an awkward position.
28,921. Paid to see this one.
Johnny's married. He's got 2 kids. 2 little girls.
There's part of the 28,921. Paid to see this. A lot of season tickets out there. And 2 young ladies, part of the crowd of 28,921. Are they twins?
No.
No, says Al. Estrada says he's okay. Albert says sorry.
I'm fine.
And we await another 2-2 pitch. Grabowski got Sanders and now gets Albert Pujols. 2 out. We go pitch by pitch, and this feature is brought to you by Chevrolet.
Really wasn't anything special. He just went after him with sinkers all through the at-bat. We got up a little bit. There's another one tilting down. Try to overthrow that one. Ronnie Estrada remembers that one, and then he finally puts him away.
With 2 out, Scott Rowland takes the ball. Rowland has walked twice and lined out to right. That was against Mike Hampton, who, if he gets a decision tonight, will mean good news for the Cardinals. Right now he's on the hook for the loss. Rowland hangs out another hit. Another line drive adds to his .336 average. A 2-out single to bring up Renteria.
1 for 2 in the night with 2 walks. And the only out he made, we hit hard hit ball to right field.
You think that's awkward for Dave McKay to have a conversation with a guy who never looks at him?
No.
It's like a soap opera conversation where they're both facing the camera. 1 on, 2 out, strike 1.
Same camera?
Same camera. But Scott's there looking out at the field, and Dave is there to whisper instructions into his ear right after the hit. 2 outs.
Don't get picked off.
Don't get picked off. Go on any ball hit.
My dinner reservations is in 45 minutes.
Which...
That's what Dave's saying.
Absolutely.
Scott.
That's not what you're saying.
No.
You
No
got another
clock.
hour.
No clock.
Edgar Renneria with 2 out. Maybe turning that hit by Roland into something. And Bosky, because he had nothing else that he could do at that moment, Brule. Sit together, and for good measure, last night's winner is in front of him. Should end the inning, but the way the Braves have played defense in this series, you don't know. The 4's out 6-4, and we go to the 8th. Cardinals still up by 2. I believe it was FDR in a letter that he wrote to Winston Churchill who said this. It's our Geico Direct moment. It's about pitching. We're in a division with a slew of pitching. That's Steve Klein in today's St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Quoting FDR. Top of the 8th inning, Matt Morris will, and I'm only guessing, have one more hitter to deal with in this game. And that hitter is Marcus Giles. 4-2, top of the 8th inning. Giles is 1 for 3. Not only the pitch count, but withdrew the lefty, and then the switch hitter, Chipper Jones, to follow. Steve Klein has been throwing for a while out in the Cardinal bullpen.
Well, let me ask you this. If he gets Giles, what do you do? Do you let him face J.D. Drew?
I don't think they will. Who knows?
No,
Would I? No, I would go to the bullpen. Into right center field, Edmonds is there.
We'll find out.
We will find out right now.
I think Matt kind of looking over his shoulder.
Drew.
Well, he knows. He got Drew, who hit a monstrous home run against him his last time.
Well, but I mean, he can't tie it with no one on base.
I understand that.
That's why, and I think they were just very upset with the pitch. There's the breaking ball.
Not the fastball on the first pitch, which hurt Morris back in the 6th.
That's all JD's going to look. Change up. Everything we've seen, you can't believe they're throwing the fastball for a strike.
Pujols on a backhand will go to the bag. And Albert continues to do what we've seen him do all year, and that is, if he can, he goes. He doesn't flip it. 2 out. Tony La Russa staying with Matt Morris. He's right around the 100 pitch mark, so that's not an issue. And even with the lefty Drew and the lefty Klein ready, 2 outs in the 8th inning, and Isringhausen gets loose. Chipper Jones up. Chipper Jones with a clunker to second. How about 8 strong from Matty Moe? Will this be a night for his 4th win of the season? Can't do much more. A great effort tonight. Bottom of the 8th, 4-2 Cardinals. Into a lovely night downtown. We had a rain-delayed start, about a half hour. Jim Edmonds is first up here at the bottom of the 8th inning and facing Chris Rietsma. And going after pitch number 1 into deep left field at the wall. Edmonds goes deep, and it's 5-2 Cardinals in the 8th. That's home run number 8.
Three-hit night for Jim Edmonds. Second RBI, giving him 25 and 8 home runs. such tremendous power to the opposite field. High towering fly ball, just getting ahead out there, throws a strike. And another Cardinal home run, second of the night, Joe. Giving them 49 now.
Here's an interesting move with a 3-run lead in the 8th. Ray Langford batting for Taguchi. Flies out into left, not because of what it does offensively, but I know the Cardinals like to have Taguchi in the outfield in the 8th or 9th inning with a lead. Our call to the bullpen brought to you by St. Louis Renaissance Grand Hotel. It's Chris Rietzma, a late spring pickup from the Cincinnati Reds for this Atlanta bullpen.
They really wanted him. Guy that can pitch. Very durable. He's making the most appearances on the staff. He was last year's Cincinnati Reds pitcher of the year.
Do a little bit of everything. A lot of roles he can play out of the bullpen. Former starter as well. The 0-1 pitch. Matheny, strike 2. Mike tonight is 0 for 3. He has hit the ball in the air. Fly to right, fly to center, robbed of a double by Andrew Jones, and then popped up.
He's a big guy, but he's got a great changeup.
Nice pick by Estrada, 1-2. Cardinals getting Isringhausen ready. He'll have at least a 3-run lead in the 9th inning, and he'll deal with Estrada, Andrew Jones, and Adam LaRoche. 2-2 on Mike.
95 with that delivery from Rietzman. Got a breaking ball and a changeup. He's 6'5", 235, only 26 years of age.
Matheny just sticking the bat out. 95-mile-an-hour pitch to keep it 2-2. Reds had 2 guys in their bullpen, Rietzma and Reed. Cincinnati team is looking for pitching. Young Bong, a left-hander, was traded to get Rietzma. And there's a ground ball base hit through the left side by Mike. Matheny is on with 1 out here in the 8th. And Marlon Anderson will be the pinch hitter for Morris. Coming up tonight after the game, Ann Carroll will visit with tonight's star of the game, plus SLU Athletic Director Doug Woolard. Moves on to South Florida.
You didn't know that, huh?
Did not know that. And the Braves are in town along with former Cardinal J.D. Drew. They'll talk about that tonight on the Midwest Sports Report after the game. I did not know that. Doug Woolard has been a good friend around here and a good friend of my family, and an asset to St. Louis University, is moving on.
Yeah.
So we wish Doug and his family luck.
Heard that report after the game last night. Made it official today.
A little floater into center. That ball's going to get down, and Matheny will go to third. It checked up like he hit a balata out into center field, and it's first and third, 1 out, and Luna coming up.
Marlon Anderson continues to be that good pinch hitter.
And he continues to go after the first pitch.
That's his 6th pinch hit. He's in 2nd place in the National League in that department.
103 total pitches for Matt Morris tonight, and he will go 8. And now Tony Womack will be called upon to pinch hit.
They must like left-handed batters against Rietzma.
And with this situation, Womack a little tougher to double. Cardinals have hit 2 home runs tonight. That means $200 more for the Suntrip Automotive family. Win one for the kids charity fund. So Taguchi hit the first, and that got a little excitement out of Matt Morris. And now moments ago to start the 8th, Jim Edmonds goes the opposite way for his 8th. It's first and third, 1 out for Womack, batting for Luna. Ball 1 outside. Save situation might disappear again.
Going to say, but I think you would go ahead and have Isringhausen pitch tonight. But You never know.
That's strike one. Cardinals have only McKay and Porter left on their bench. Saw that Roger Cedeno is making progress in the minor leagues in his rehab assignment after the hamstring injury. So at some point the Cardinals will have to decide whether to add another bench player or take away a pitcher.
Keep on getting this good pitching, and you know we've been 3 weeks. There's only one guy not going at least 6 innings, and that was Woody Williams. He went 5 2/3.
Matt Morris outstanding tonight. 8 innings, 2 runs on 6 hits. And both runs came on one swing, the home run by Drew. Womack, like he was trying to poke it to left, is in the hole 1 and 2. Morris, while he was in there, struck out 5. Maybe as importantly, walked 0. Tony Womack with Matheny creeping down the line at third. Marlon Anderson on at first with 1 out in the 8th. Goes the opposite way. Out at second. Now the throw home. Matheny is out and the inning is over.
That's a heads-up play.
Great play by Giles. Score the double play. 5-4-2. Estrada laid the tag on Matheny. We go to the 9th. Isringhausen will pitch. Cardinals lead it 5-2. Give America higher standards goes to Matt Morris. And we give you a video look back, Al, at his night. It was very good.
Well, he had the curveball really working. Got a lot of outs with it. Had him to 12-6, and he could flatten it out. The location was great. Threw some good fastballs. Also had some good changeups that he got some ground balls outs on. And very effective. Maybe only one pitch he'd want back, and that was the home run to Drew.
Our call to the bullpen brought to you by the St. Louis Renaissance Grand Hotel, and Jason Isringhausen is on. Got the save on Sunday, and it's nice, Al, that you are here in attendance tonight as Isringhausen has a chance to move into 8th place all alone on the all-time saves list with his 60th in a Cardinal uniform.
Actually, he would tie Warner and Razzle for 6th.
Didn't know it was that tight.
Yep. Joe Horner used to always tell me, I've got one more than you.
Late Joe Horner, a great man. Here is Johnny Estrada first up, and Isringhausen got it by him. We showed you the defensive changes. Womack is in at second, and Ray Langford takes over in left. Estrada tonight 1 for 3. 1 ball, 1 strike. It looked like, and I was just watching on television on the road trip, it looked like Isringhausen was letting it go a little more on the recent trip to Philadelphia and Montreal.
Power pitchers, it usually takes them a little longer to get their arm strength.
There's a nasty cutter inside on Estrada 1 and 2.
And Izzy has that cut fastball. That's explosive fastball. He's got a very good breaking ball.
Estrada getting a look at him for the first time.
This ball away. Now Izzy steps off, maybe not agreeing with location. We're going to do it again.
Just missed. 2 and 2. Isringhausen thought he had the first out. Estrada with swing just to get a piece. Dave Duncan, I think, is looking in at the home plate umpire. Jerry Neals wondering why 2 pitches ago Isringhausen didn't get the out.
As Estrada's still up there.
Estrada, then Andrew Jones, then Adam LaRoche. 2-2 pitch. Renteria. 1 away. Rob King is standing by. Is he wearing a tie tonight or a mock turtleneck? Let's find out. What's coming up on the Midwest Sports Report?
All right, here's what's coming up next in the Busch Life Midwest Sports Report. The best Cardinals post-game coverage in town. Plus, Kevin Slayton takes your phone calls at 1-888-RING-FOX. And Ann Carroll's latest report from the world of the strongman. All that and more right after the game. But first, back to Joe and Al. Guys?
Thanks, Rob. First pitch to Andrew Jones with one out here in the ninth inning. Strike one.
Well, Robbie King looked very comfortable in his time.
He did. Admit it. You whipped around and were looking up at your monitor to see if he was wearing a tie or not.
You piqued my interest, too.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. Andrew, 0-2. Jones is 0 for 3 tonight and 0 for 6 in this series. His average is down to 244.
Cutter.
3 pitches, another out. Our Bud Light play of the game as the Cardinals are an out away from another victory over the Atlanta Braves. It's brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real, it's all here. And it was there and it was gone off the bat of Sota Gucci. First home run of the year back in the fourth. Two of the best in the business, Tony La Russa, Bobby Cox, and Tony La Russa is 1 out away from taking the first 2 games of the season series, a total of 6 for the Braves. Adam LaRoche, the rookie. Pujols knocked it away from Womack. And the game continues, and the Braves are 1 base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate. Womack was there, but Pujols ranged a little too far. And it's a base hit. LaRoche gets a gift from Pujols.
Tony thinks it's over, and oh no. My aggressive first baseman ranged it a little bit too far, but more times than not, Albert Pujols makes those plays, but in this case, he deflected it away from Womack.
Now it's Jesse Garcia. Pinch hitter would follow. Julio Franco is in the on-deck circle. If he bats, he'll represent the tying run. One ball, one strike. That should end it. Cardinals have taken the first 2 against the Braves. A final of 5-2 tonight. And the Cardinals are up to 8-11 with their home record. Pitching outstanding again. The defense was right there for that pitching and timely hitting this evening. 5 runs on 12 hits. We'll come back with a complete post-game wrap-up. We have the game tomorrow early on the air at 11:30. Midwest Sports Report now.